brought you joy one day, a broken toy that you preferred to throw away. If I expected love when first we kissed, blame it on my youth. If only just for you I did exist, blame it on my youth. I believed in everything like a child at 3. You meant more than everything, all the world to me. If you were on my mind all night and day, blame it on my youth. If I forgot to eat and sleep and pray, blame it on my youth. If I cried a little bit when first I learned the truth, don't blame it on my heart, blame it on my youth. I believed in everything like a child at 3. You meant more than everything, all the world to me. If you were on my mind all night and day, blame it on my youth. If I forgot to eat and sleep and pray, blame it on my youth. If I cried a little bit when first I learned the truth, don't blame it on my heart, blame it on my youth.
I'd like to call into session the meeting of the Carpinteria Unified School District Board meeting for 9/27/22. May I please get a roll call?
Aaron. Here. Jacqueline.
Here.
Sally.
Here.
Jamie.
Here.
And I'm here.
Okay, flag salute. All rise, please. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. B2, approval of the minutes. May I please get a motion? I move to approve. And a second? Second. And public comment.
We have Union President Jay Hochner.
Thank you. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Moving on to consent agenda. May I please get a motion? Oh, actually, this is a roll call.
Yeah, we got
But we have public comment, so.
Union President Jay Hochner.
Correct.
Please let me know when my 3 minutes begins. Ready? Thank you. Well, as the community of Carpinteria examines the consent agenda, our neighbors and district families may have also noticed that several of the items on the consent agenda are associated with contracting out jobs and labor services because the CUSD has been unable to attract, hire, and maintain anywhere near the required levels of high-quality talent under Superintendent Rigby's watch and under the board's watch. Do you think it is a coincidence that these workers will neither gain access to any contractual protections provided in the district's collective bargaining agreements, nor will they gain access to employee union membership, the rights and the legal defense that membership ensures? We don't believe that's a coincidence. The district will tell you that it's done an amazing job filling openings in 22-23, citing approximately 25% of the district's employees that have left since the end of the 21-22 school year. While congratulating themselves on their recent effort to hire, there's much they're not sharing. They aren't sharing that these excessive openings, or at least the vast majority, are a result of otherwise competent and experienced employees choosing to leave the district on their own accord, far too often due to negative and unprofessional experiences they endured with their own administrators, not students, not families, not their colleagues. District leadership also won't tell you that the CUSD's hiring efforts, even with a last-minute job fair for $2,000 hiring bonuses, has still resulted in grossly understaffed classrooms, workspaces, and support programs. Classrooms with extremely high student-teacher ratios, or critical workspaces abandoned because support staff are being redirected to plug employment holes across the district. You'll hear about a human resource director paid well over $125,000, who instead of acting more effectively to resolve those hiring shortages, receives applause from the board for guiding traffic around student crosswalks. It's a nice glossy image and it's a nice thing to do. It looks great in the Coastal View News, but it is an extremely expensive cross guard and a terribly ineffective use of district funds. District leadership also won't openly discuss the CUSD's failure to provide both federally and state mandated student support associated with IEPs, with 504s, and other medical conditions that district students are legally entitled to receive, and which the district is bound to provide. The district won't tell you that the current shortage, at least the exaggerated version that CUSD is experiencing, another day.
Thank you. Okay, may I please get a motion on the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
And roll call.
Aaron. Aye. Jacqueline.
Aye.
Sally.
Aye.
Amy.
Aye.
I'm aye.
Thank you. Student representative report.
Hello, good afternoon. Okay, Carpinteria High School had a very successful MORP dance on September 17th, 2022. Over 250 students danced and had fun. ASB did an excellent job organizing our annual MORP dance. On Saturday, September 24th, FFA had a very successful tri-tip drive-through. Over 100 meals were prepared and delivered. Many thanks go to all the volunteers, students, parents, and staff advisors for making the fundraiser happen. On October 4th, UCSB EAOP program will host at CHS their annual college fair. Over 40 colleges and universities will be on campus providing information to our students and other programs. On October 5th at 6 p.m. in the library, our parents for CHS will be hosting their first meeting of the school. Please come and learn about the many opportunities that exist for parents to be a part of CHS. On October 7th at 7:30 a.m. in the admin building, parents are invited to the first coffee with the principal. This is an opportunity to learn more about CHS, provide feedback on school programs, and ask general questions. Finally, ASB is making plans for homecoming. The game will be Friday, October 14th, and the dance will be on Saturday, October 15th. Please be on the lookout for more information on Parent Square. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have public comment.
Yes, we do. Union President Jay Hochner.
Hello, Nayida. Hey, first, I wanted to thank you for your service to the community, to the district, to all the students you represent. You have the opportunity to be an important and influential voice for students, and we know that that takes a lot of courage and energy to put yourself in that position, so thank you. I wanted to share with you and any of those in the audience, especially the students you represent, the role of the employee union in the district. Although I tend to be the most consistent voice for teachers and support staff across the district, I'm not here speaking on my own behalf, but rather on behalf of CUSD's employees, teachers, and support staff who have elected both myself and our union leadership team to advocate and represent them on the interests and values they hold dear. Although the union leadership team is focused on matters of workplace conditions, workplace environment, and the workplace safety associated with the employees of the district, there is not an interest or issue that we carry forward that has not been weighed and carefully examined in regard to the impact on either students, their families, or the teaching and learning environment. At these meetings and during more routine hours of operation, the current management team often holds the union in contempt for serving in this critical role. It's a role that's endorsed and protected by federal, state, and labor law. Although we'd prefer to be cheerleaders, rah-rahing on all the joyful and happy matters that go on in the CUSD, we understand that there may be a more important role that we play, the role of leaders. Leaders who are willing to dig into whatever difficult and ugly work is required to improve the teaching and learning experience for district employees, students, and their families. Carpinteria School District either employs or serves approximately 25% of the families in our community, maybe even more. We believe that the professional culture and the quality of the relationship between the different stakeholders in the district, again, employees, students, and families, has an outsized influence on how this community understands itself, on how this community understands each other, and understands what is possible when those responsible for decision-making in the district roll up their sleeves and get down to business, versus simply cheering for what is going well while ignoring what is not going well. So thank you again.
Okay. Thank you very much. And as always, we'd love to have you stay so you can watch the process. We also understand if you have work to do. So thank you. And I mean participate in the process, not just watch. So thanks. Okay, moving on to superintendent's report.
Thank you. I'd like to begin with some appreciation, and I'd like to recognize the elementary grade level chairs and secondary department chairs who provide teacher leadership at their school sites and assist district leaders in school-wide improvement efforts. The vaccine mandate has been lifted for school employees. Teachers and other school staff who have not been vaccinated against COVID-19 will no longer have to be tested weekly to remain on campuses. State Public Health Officer Dr. Tomas Aragon rescinded a public health order requiring that all school employees show proof of vaccination or be tested at least weekly, effective September 17th. Additionally, CUSD will no longer require volunteers or substitutes to be vaccinated. Free academic online tutoring. Governor Newsom announced free multilingual online tutoring and homework assistance are now available 24/7 in every TK-12 subject on the local public library website. You click on the Help Now link to reach the one-on-one tutor. Our local control and accountability plan was approved by SBCEO. SBCEO determined that the 22-23 LCAP met the following requirements. It adheres to the template adopted by the State Board of Education. It includes expenditures sufficient to implement the specific actions and services in the LCAP. It adheres to the expenditure requirements for funds apportioned on the basis of the number and concentration of unduplicated students pursuant to California Ed Code sections 42238.02 and 42238.03. And lastly, it includes the required calculations to determine whether there's a carryover obligation. Another item is the CHS advisory period. CHS began their advisory period last week, and new expectations have been created and shared with students and staff. Advisory is held Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and it lasts 30 minutes. During advisory, students are scheduled with a teacher they have during the day, or athletic teams have been assigned to their coach as much as possible. Every Tuesday, students are required to complete a weekly grade check, and they notify their advisory teacher how they will improve by the following week. Students can also use this time period for additional guidance on homework assignments, test makeup, or projects. The next item is related to teaching and learning conditions. We all know that teaching and learning conditions matter for student success, and related to teaching conditions is compensation and class sizes. So when we look at the comparative analysis of certificated salaries and benefits from 2021, and this is through school services, they're always at least 2 years behind, but we compare our district to the districts in Oxnard and Ventura County and Santa Barbara County. There are 18 districts, and we are ranked 8th for total compensation. In addition, for class size averages this year, our TK to 5 average is 18.8. For the content classes in the middle school, the class average is 20.4, and for the high school, it is 23.4. Those are very small class sizes in comparison to our neighbor districts. The next item is related to our English language development programs. This year, we have a total of 22% of students who are English learners. At the elementary schools, we implement daily English language development at all the grade levels, K through 5. Our English learners, who are now labeled as emergent bilingual students, are given 30 minutes of instruction in ELD, vocabulary, listening, speaking, reading, and writing with a certificated teacher. For kindergarten through 3rd grade, students are grouped according to their current language level based on teacher assessments and the results of the English Language Proficiency Assessment for California, or the LPAC. Teachers deliver instruction based on state-adopted curriculum materials for ELD, and students who are native English speakers are given literacy enrichment, such as chapter books, with instructional assistants in small groups based on reading level. Students in DLI who are acquiring Spanish as a second language also have Spanish language development with bilingual instructional assistants. At the middle school level, the English language development program strengthens students' literacy and language competency while teaching them the skills necessary to be successful on the LPAC. 49 ELD students at the middle school will be reclassified this year. CMS offers one ELD class that serves a newcomer cohort of 7 students, 2 6th grade ELD classes, and 1 7th grade ELD class, and an 8th grade ELD class. 3 bilingual instructional assistants also support newcomers in each grade level, and the global studies classes are co-taught with an ELD teacher. At Carpinteria High School, there are 3 sections of ELD this school year, and the teachers are piloting the curriculum English in Action in all classes and will be evaluating the program during this academic school year. The next item is related to the High School Voter Education Week, which was September 19th through the 30th, and the 2022 California Student Mock Election, which will take place October 11th. CHS students will participate in the mock election in October to encourage civic engagement, awareness, and voting. Students have been invited to serve as poll workers, and there is a banner on the CHS website for student voter registration. And our last item is the Measure U progress. At Summerlin, retaining walls, sidewalks, building, siding, and exterior finishes are wrapping up. Classrooms are mostly complete inside except for finished flooring. The landscape piping has been installed and is being water tested. The new play structure is scheduled for delivery to the site in the next few weeks. The tennis courts we're waiting for the final permitting and are tentatively scheduled to begin after the completion of the school in December. The bids for the tennis courts are due October 6. Canalino and the CHS Administration Building are completing their punch list items, and we're still waiting for a delivery confirmation for the Canalino furniture and accordion doors. The last item is main school. The Phase 2 roofing and painting project will soon be submitted to DSA for the roof work, and that work will be done next summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. And we have public comment, correct?
Correct. CUSD President Jay Hochner.
Union leadership wants to remind the community for the sum of well over $200,000 in compensation, the community should expect to have purchased the services of a leader, not simply a cheerleader. While the superintendent's report is most often filled with a variety of feel-good statements and topics designed to cast a warm glow over district operations, the superintendent continues to demonstrate her inability to collaborate, motivate, and transform the CUSD into something identifiably better than it was upon her arrival. When examining the superintendent's performance, let's set aside the now $2 million in legal fees that Ms. Rigby has spent on attacking teachers and support staff committed to system-wide transformation. Let's set aside her reputation for pursuing conflict with parents and employee leaders, either before she was run out of Santa Barbara Unified School District or when she was the superintendent in Concord, Carlisle, Connecticut. And don't believe me, please look it up, folks. Look it up, everyone. It's right there on the internet, not hard to find. Your record, Ms. Rigby. Set aside the transactional relationships she pursues with district administrators and employees and parents again. Set aside successive years of abysmal performance ratings from the very staff and faculty she is charged to supervise. Ms. Rigby likes to speak in averages when she's talking about class sizes. That's convenient. Set aside the annual average. We can too. Set aside the annual average. That is a mere 0.5% on the salary schedule annually for district faculty that's been bargained since Ms. Rigby arrived to the district. She was not responsible for the large increase that was bargained before she arrived. Set aside all those things, and you still have a superintendent who is incapable of productively engaging the workforce, or even just the workforce leaders in her organization. Unable to even listen productively to the challenges and experience shared by district employees, and unable to guide the district in the direction that the majority of Carpinteria's families would like to see, but do not have enough time or energy or economic stability, and in some cases even the know-how to demand. Maybe a starting place would be meeting with the union president. Ms. Rigby has not sat down with union leadership since 2017-18, since the 2017-18 school year, hiding in her office, sending others out to do her job relatively, how would I put it, without being empowered to actually make any decisions with us, just to come and waste our time, essentially, is what it feels like. Ms. Rigby, it's time. It's time for you to participate.
Thank you. And now we have an AHA presentation. Thank you.
Before you begin, Roxy, we'd like to welcome you to Carpinteria and our community. We are thrilled that we've enjoyed many years of partnership with you and your team. You've done a fabulous job of helping and assisting our students and faculties in building our social emotional competence and also improving our school climate. So we really thank you, and we're really looking forward to the report. And we thank all of the students who joined us tonight, as well as your team. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Let me figure this little tool out here first. You're a dog.
So just with this, you just go like
Oh,
this, or if you need to go back, just go back like this.
Okay, great. Wow, well, I'm just so thankful to be able to be here in person. Last year, we did this over Zoom, and that was great. But just the blessings of actually being here in community. I'm just absorbing it in. So good evening. My name is Roxana Petty. I am the executive director of AHA, and I'm actually a mom of four myself. you know, I've had the pleasure of getting to know Diana and a lot of the district employees. And I just have to say that I have not found any other place that has given or provided the amount of support to an organization like AHA to be able to come and do the work that is so needed in so many levels. And so I just want to appreciate everyone for that as well. So AHA has been blessed with a fulfilling partnership with the Carpinteria Unified School District for probably going on over 15 years. I was trying to do the research today, and that's a long time. It's a long time that we've been able to collaborate and do this important work. That picture there is of our Peace Builder gathering in the fall that we had with all of the Peace Builder teams. So, you know, the work that we do is not just about conversation and talking, it's about bringing in community. It's about what we're able to bring to our youth, their parents, their educators, to the staff that they work with at their schools, and for you to also experience it as you're walking down your streets. Why we're here? We're here to really be able to bridge communication gaps between young students, even between friends. Oftentimes, I sit in a connection circle and I will have a student say, "Why are we doing this? I know my friend." And I'm like, okay, well, let's have this connection circle and just enjoy each other. And by the time we're done with 45 minutes of conversation, I hear, wow, I never knew that. I didn't know that that's something that was important. And so for them, it's an opportunity of learning of what important questions we can ask each other in order to really get to know one another better. Through this school year, we've been able to bridge connection circles and avenues of enjoying each other's company and learning from one another in many different ways. And with the school systems, with the new multi-tiered system of support, you're able to see where we land with each one of our actual programs. And so this was important for us to include because we are actually targeting all three tiers, which is incredibly important. And so, and that is what you feel when you walk onto Carpinteria High School, at the middle school. You're able to feel that the students are aware of having a place to have connection at different levels. So this year, we were able to serve 1,148 students and teachers with the AHA Hero assemblies. And I'm going to correct myself. This was this last year that we just finished, 2021 and 22. We served 860 students with AHA Peace Builder groups, lunch circles, and with the presentations in their classrooms. 41 students and educators inside their classrooms with councils that we were able to bring 4 weeks in a row. We were able to serve 45 educators with AHA educator workshops at CMS, and 32 parents with parent groups and a parent group series where they were able to come back for more than just one time. Okay. So when we see all those numbers, it's great, but what's really important is that you're reaching so many more people through their families, the connection with their parents. And so I'm just super proud of the work that we've been able to do with all of you, because we couldn't do it without the support of the district. We are a partner. We're here doing the work with you and for you. And there's some more people in our group today that are going to go through different parts of what we're bringing to the district. And so I'm going to go ahead and have Caitlin, our programs coordinator, come up.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Caitlin, and I am the programs coordinator at AHA. Peace can be an amorphous concept. People of all ages desire peace, but many are unsure how to actually attain it. And especially now, when looking at our world's current issues, it's easy to get caught up in looking for how to create peace on a global scale. And while that is urgently necessary, Peace Builders is a reminder that peace begins first within, then emerges between, and then grows to be fostered among. AHA Peace Builders offers an inspired and tangible strategy based in seeing, hearing, and celebrating one another's differences, rooted in AHA's 5 pillars of mindfulness, resilience, awareness, empathy, and connection. Teens learn the skills required to become a leader on their own school campus. AHA Peace Builder groups were held in person on campus at Carpinteria High School and Carpinteria Middle School last year from October 2021 through May of 2022. Through the practice of connection circles, teens meaningfully connect with their peers from a place of authenticity, guiding one another in these connection circles and participating in events where their empowered leadership uplifts and betters our community. Peace Builders connects around topics such as deep listening, empathy, relationship repair, and an awareness of stereotypes. Once a month, facilitators and teens hold lunch connection circles to deepen on-school campus connection. Peace Builders also hosted last year a kickoff training event, a mid-year conference, and a beach cleanup. In our first slide, there was actually some really fun pictures from our Peace Builder mid-year conference. AHA Peace Builders is grateful to provide a place of hope where teens can practice using their own power and their own voice to be of service to bring peace into being. So today we are so grateful to actually, I'm going to move forward one more, there we go, to invite our friend Tilly Campbell, who is one of our outstanding AHA Peace Builders at CMS. Woo! Yeah, Tilly! She is here to share with you a little bit about why being a peace builder matters to her. And then you will also hear from AHA's Director of Programs, Brandon Battle, in just a moment. Thank you very much. I need to have this up here. Hello. I'm really nervous right now. Okay. Okay. Hi. My name is Matilda Tammany. I am 12 years old, and I have been going to Peace Builders for 2 years now. Didn't seem that long. Oof. And I'm in 7th grade. It's, how am I? Okay. Anyway, I enjoy AHA Peace Builders because of the fun activities they provide. Like, whenever we have after school program, we get to play games like every single day. It's really fun. And I've benefited from AHA because really they encourage students to speak freely, like freely. And yeah, because whenever we have our connection circles, we always get to know that confidentiality is one of their main purposes in these circles. Our saying for it is, what is said in the circle stays in the circle. From coming to AHA, I have made many more friends. How many? Like 4 or 5? And depending on how many kids usually come, that's a lot. I mean, usually there's a lot of kids. And there is a lot of kids. I make many friends. And because of AHA, I have found a safe space to talk. I have, it also helps improve communication mentally and emotionally. And like, whenever me and my friends want to talk, I don't know much about them. So whenever we get to do these connection circles and talk when we're like
at AHA, it's much more free and we feel like we can talk more openly to everyone. And I've learned lots of stuff because of my friends, because of AHA. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Tilly. Great job.
Hey everyone. Great job, Tilly. And just so you know, I'm also very nervous too. But I'm also very excited to be here. So my name is Brandon Battle. I'm the Director of Programs at AHA. And I'm here to actually share with you a few of our other programs that we've done last year. While our Peace Builder program is a really amazing one that nominates students and they volunteer to be part of this program, we also go and meet the students where they're at. And so we do that in a few different ways. We have our in-class, in-school program at both Carp High and Carp Middle School. And we have our in-class councils that we just started last year. And our Heroes Assembly, which I'll just kind of I have a lot of slides to go through, so I'm going to try to do it with some brevity for you. But to start with, we have our Carp High in-school program, Get Focused, Stay Focused, where for 10 weeks, a group of facilitators lead presentations on topics from emotional management to dealing with stereotypes and isms. And they share it in an engaging, fun way, often with skits and activities that we do, and then break them into small groups where they get to deepen their conversation about it, where students aren't just being talked to, they're actually sharing with each other and learning from their own perspectives that they have. And we served 144 freshmen last year, combining with our fall and spring semester. And then comes our Carp Middle School, which is an equivalent to the same in-school program as Carp High, which we call Connect to Thrive, where another 10 weeks cycle with a group of facilitators going into Ryan Ethington's art class, who we just love, and has a more age-appropriate approach to all of our content. So same content in a certain way, but brings it with some art, some games, making it super playful and engaging for the students. And we served a total of 80 between the spring and fall semester as well. I would say between these two programs, because they're getting it in middle school and then in high school, they're deepening their experience with this topic and becoming stronger EQ human beings that can be in our community and often stay and work in this community. And so I'm very excited about what we do there with those kids. The next ones that we do, these are some stats that we have, and I know you have your handouts there. And so we do take surveys that measure their self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. With some statements there, you'll see that at the end of the program, the percentages on the right are how those students felt about their skill set, whether they felt they could know what their strengths are, knowing what their emotions are, or sticking to their beliefs when making decisions. And you'll see in this next one, and I apologize if I'm moving kind of quickly, that a few of the sections that we're looking at of being able to calm themselves when they get nervous had a nice bump in our group. This is something that we really talk about, of noticing and becoming skilled in understanding where your emotions are coming from in any given moment and how to deal with them in the moment. And yeah, I'll let you can totally investigate more of these stats as we go. And I would love to move on to our in-class councils. And so this one in our Heroes assemblies were kind of sprung out of our experience of COVID and just the request and the need of getting our kids more connected and regulated again. And so the councils are a targeted experience where we go in for 3 weeks at a time. We did it for 2 high school classrooms and reached 41 high school students there. They met with a few of our skilled facilitators to host a council, which is in a sense a connection circle, but has a deeper meaning to it with a dedication. And the topics go a lot deeper into understanding that how they show up in the world really impacts their community and how the school climate is. And that was the real big focus of our time there. They're also very flexible to what's actually in the classroom, so they're not rigid. We really try to see what's in there, include new questions based on what students are giving us in the moment. And you'll see in the surveys that the sense of connection and their individual students' likelihood for standing up peers was increased. These are two of our data points here. I think the main thing is that they really got the experience of connecting with their peers and being able to feel listened by their peers, which feels really important to me. These are a few of the feedback. I love reading some of these. I'm just picking out one of them. Was that they were finding out that they had deeper things in common with their peers, which has kind of been spoken a few times in this experience, but it really is a beautiful thing when two friends that are kind of goofing off and being in this space with us end up looking at each other with that confused look of like, wow, I actually did not know that about you, and deepen their connection. And if you see the areas of improvement, we love getting feedback. Nothing, everything is good, cool. But no, but I like that they named like bigger groups with the whole class, which we'll be instating this time around, of having some more time together rather than only splitting the groups up. And also I love that they named their boundaries around sharing personal information, which we think is really important about what level they're able to share in the group and how they feel safe with us. And lastly, I would love to talk about our Heroes Assemblies. This is a very exciting and fun thing that we've been doing. We reached 1,148 students between the two schools. And this is where we are bringing some videos to them of celebrities, some educators, some common heroes that we might experience in our world, talking about what it means to be a hero. They sent specific videos to us to share with them. And the whole purpose of it is inspiring them about how they show up for themselves. If they can be a hero for themselves, then they can be a hero for other people. And so it's really focused on that inner part first before extending it outward. And the beauty of this is we can work with whole grades of students. And we saw the whole school for both schools. And what was I going to say? That we have enough facilitators to break these bigger groups up into smaller connection circles, so they get the excitement of the big group, and then a smaller group in really personal experience about what it means to be a hero. Again, learning from themselves, not being just spoken to. We have a few quotes here. I think the middle one, the very powerful, students opened up, shared many personal things. I think that's what we all need, or I think we all needed this, and I feel that this event made our community stronger and closer. Thank you. And a few of these are from teachers and admin at the school as well that you can read. And lastly, just some of the data here. The majority of them felt that it was a useful use of their time, and that the facilitators were skilled in helping them feel motivated to step up for others. And these last bits I'll just kind of go over. It's saying the same thing, but just showing you in a visual. I'm a visual person, and just again, the majority of them felt that it was useful in their experience. And that's it for me. So thank you for listening to all that information. I really appreciate you all. I'm going to pass it on to Melissa Lowenstein here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
You all are giving us so much time. We really appreciate it. Okay, there we go. So I am AHA's Director of Training and Adult Programming. So I get to talk to you about the parent groups and also about the educator trainings that we've done in the last year. So fall and spring parent group and class series, we had standalone groups, and we also had a class series with 3 classes that addressed 3 of the SEL competencies that we felt were most important for parents to be on board with. And I just want to backtrack and say, I feel like this district really gets that you can't just give social emotional skills and competencies and learning to the kids. It has to go to the kids, it has to go to the teachers, and it has to go to the parents And that's how it impacts the whole community. And that's what all the research says on social emotional learning. So y'all are way ahead of the curve, and we're just so glad to be working with you on this. So, yeah, I mean, it's all the same beautiful stuff that we work with the kids on in a parent-friendly format. We provide dinner, which really helps sweeten the deal for parents, and also childcare. And that really helps people make the time and get there and do not only the learning about self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, but also just an opportunity to connect. And we all know that we all came out of a rough time when we all felt very disconnected. So those opportunities, even just to sit with other parents and share our troubles, and then hear other parents' wisdom too. That's, every parent brings their own wisdom into the circle, and we make space for that as well. Is there anything else I want to say about that? No, I'm going to keep going. So our educator workshops, we offered a trauma-informed classrooms workshop, which is, for very good reasons, sort of at the vanguard of what districts are doing all over the country, addressing things like rule breaking, acting out, bad behavior, disengagement, apathy, not necessarily as a kid being bad, but as a kid who's been through some stuff. And we've all been through some stuff in the last couple years. So being able to come and work with the educators to sort of teach the current understanding of how not only major trauma like COVID or natural disasters, but the stresses of everyday life as it has been over the last few years, how those shape the mind and the body in ways that make it hard to attend and learn. And so we got to bring that to the teachers and gave them a chance to connect with each other and talk about that and how they might integrate that understanding into their work with the kids. So we served 45 educators with that offering. We have some testimonials that I invite you to look at when you have a moment. And I think these groups are equal parts education and connection and support. And that's really, I think, the sort of magic formula, that we don't bring people in and lecture them. We bring them in and we foster connection around things that matter, about them and about their children and about the children that they serve as educators. So thank you so much for allowing us to do this work. The way that this district has dedicated itself, even in years when it was tough, to keep doing the work of integrating social emotional learning is really inspiring. You're a model district, so thank you. And I'm gonna introduce the next person. I'm also nervous. I want to introduce Sabrina Gachet, who is our clinical director.
Thank you, Melissa. Hi there. It is such a pleasure to be here with you in person, and I mean all of you in the room. It's a gift that we took for granted for a period of time. So I just am so grateful for the generosity of time, as Melissa said, that you've given us this evening. Our hope was to give you a taste of what it is that we do and what AHA has to offer, and hopefully you are leaving this dialogue with a lot more information about that. And I'm imagining some of you may be a little AHA saturated right now, so I'm going to try to be super brief, just a couple minutes, so bear with me. I worked at schools up in the Bay Area, K through 12, for about 14 years before relocating back to my hometown of Santa Barbara and having the good fortune to connect with AHA and be able to continue that work with teens and families and educators, because we're all the village, right? And it takes a village, truly. I want to invite you just for one moment to reflect and remember what it was like to be a teen. Junior high, high school, was it fun? Was it tough? For most of us, I would say there were some bumps and obstacles in the road that we had to overcome. So having worked with young people, families and educators, like I said, for 22 years now, I can tell you that it has perhaps never been more important that our students learn and grow their social and emotional skills, and most importantly, to feel connected with others. And that is particularly true in the aftermath of COVID, because a lot of people felt very isolated. Some of you may already know this, but AHA was created in the aftermath of the Columbine school shooting back in 1999. I wish I could say that things have changed radically for the better for our students since then, but unfortunately that is not the case. We never want a young person to feel so disconnected and disenfranchised that they would resort to violence against others or against themselves, for that matter. I can also share that it has been disheartening as a counselor to see such a dramatic rise in anxiety and depression among teens over the past decade or so. There are many opinions and theories about what has contributed to that, and it likely is the result of many different factors, but it's nonetheless true. My hope, though, that I want to share with you is that I've seen, and we've actually all seen, what an amazing transformation that can occur in and for people when they feel seen, heard, and connected to others, when they feel like they belong. We all need that, right? Yeah. Creating a place for that to happen and facilitating experiences of real connection are perhaps the most vital pieces that AHA has to offer our students. I worked as a group facilitator actually with AHA for 6 years prior to just recently becoming clinical director, and worked both in our junior high and high school programs here at CMS, Carp High School, and also Rincon, which I think is now not Rincon anymore, but and it just showed me the impact that we can make. And the truth is we can all impact the life of a child in positive and life-changing ways, and that there are a lot of different ways to do that. I'm just personally thrilled, though, that we have this opportunity to continue to partner with CUSD in being one of those ways to make that change for our youth. Lastly, I'll just say we like to think of ourselves as being largely proactive and preventative. But we are also responsive to teens that are currently struggling. We recently added an initiative where we provide 6 free counseling sessions for teens involved in our program and or their families. And that also is extended to educators, because educators have a very hard job these days. And my hat is off to all the teachers I've had the pleasure of working with. So thank you again for your time. Please don't hesitate to ask us questions. And if you know teens that are struggling, please, or just teens that you know could benefit, please direct them to our programs. And we would love to have them in our groups. Thank you all. And I'm going to turn it back to Roxy, and I think I forgot to click the thing.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Wow. So we're just going to open it up for any questions that anybody might have. And I personally just want to say thank you to our staff and for Tilly for coming and speaking from their hearts today. It's our 23rd year of service, and so thank you all for being a part of that. And so any questions you may have?
I have one. I know all students have Get Focused, stay focused.
Yes.
But how are the students selected that are in your smaller groups? I'm assuming it's teacher recommendations or?
Yeah, it's yes and. So teachers can recommend students, and students can also come and volunteer and sign up. And so we do a lot of enrollment work. A lot of tables, a lot of time connecting with the students outside of their normal class time so that they can get to know us one-on-one and feel more comfortable. Yes.
I work with a girl at the moment that she and her mom could definitely use that. So I'm just assuming that if I contact here that we could maybe do the 6 sessions.
Yes, and I will say that because we bring the hero assemblies to the whole student body, anyone in the school benefits from that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Anybody else?
Go
ahead.
So I have a I wanted to touch on the retention. So we're surveying the students at the middle school about the impact of the training and how that helps them in their everyday lives. And I'm just curious, since we see almost every one of those students again at the high school, if the retention level is there, or if it's something that's they retain it for a short period and then forget it, or if you're seeing that those students are the ones that are kind of taking charge and being the leaders.
Well, I will say that my personal experience is that it's like a muscle that you work, and so the more you work it, the easier your brain goes to reacting and acting in a certain way. What I will share with you is that I was lucky enough to have some words over lunch with Gerardo Cornejo recently, and he told me that at least at the high school level, they really take time to make sure that they put certain students in the first semester to receive Get Focused, Stay Focused, and then by the second semester, they already know, just by the actions, who are the students that still haven't received that particular 10-week course. And so it is visible by them. It's something that I hadn't heard specifically from him, so I thanked him for sharing that, because it helps us, because we do the work, but we don't necessarily get to see all the outcomes afterwards, and so it's really nice to get that feedback. We obviously get the survey feedback, but to see it as something different on a day-to-day basis. And at the junior high level, we know the students that come to Peace Builders, we see the growth in them, absolutely. And, you know, and it's something that is beautiful that they get the opportunity to continue throughout high school. And so by the time that they graduate, it's a huge improvement.
Are the students at the middle school level, are they basically self-selecting, or are those teacher referrals?
It's the same as the high school for the Peace Builder program.
So everyone goes through it?
With the in-class, the arts program,
Yep.
oh my God, I'm running a blank. Connect to Thrive, thank you, Caitlin. We receive the students through their art class. And so we start all the way from 6th grade through 8th grade. So it's not the same as the way it is within the high school, where we know we're getting all of the freshmen in 1 year. But we've seen a huge difference in the impact in the school since we began. And Lisa will also share that she really sees the improvement, and we're just happy to continue to still provide that.
Great, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course.
Thank you so much. It was
Thank you.
very thorough, but there's been a lot that you guys have been working hard on for the last couple of years, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Again, Roxy, we've all learned
Thank
so
you.
much from you.
Thank you.
And I believe we have public comment on this item?
Yes, CUSD President Jay Hochner.
Thank you. First, please allow me, on behalf of district personnel, to express our appreciation for the services provided by the AHA team. Thank you. The work you do, and I'm going to not turn on, I apologize. I need to look, you know. The work you do is important, and it can be transformational. Many students have benefited from the resources AHA provides, and Tilly is a fabulous example of one of those students. Way to go, Tilly. That said, union leadership fears that district administration is not only using your organization to accomplish that outcome, but also to prevent district employees from discussing other meaningful school site topics in school employee-wide environments. The union asks that you consider how that may be undermining your message with the faculty and support staff charged to support AHA, and allow me to explain. Last week, union leadership held meetings across the district, and at those meetings, we confirmed a dynamic that we believe the community and school board and AHA leaders should be considering. As you heard this evening, the AHA directors have not seen such a level of support and engagement as that provided by CUSD's leadership. A truer statement could not be made. Another AHA representative stated that we are way ahead of the curve here in Carpenter Unified School District. Another very true statement, and one that demands further consideration. With all respect to our AHA partners, many of the members we represent have recognized that over the last 3 years, these AHA and AHA-style social-emotional trainings are being used to structurally shut down employee collaboration at the only remaining structural venue available to admin and school site staff. That venue is referred to as the monthly staff meeting. Where staff used to be provided a venue for discussion on matters of daily operation and the nuts and bolts of operating a school site, under Ms. Rigby's leadership, staff meetings have been and have become an AHA training for 3 years, almost every staff meeting across all school sites. Perhaps it is time to acknowledge that employees have spent 3 years training on topics of mental health awareness and social, racial, ethnic, and gender inclusivity, conceptually valuable topics, but at CUSD that comes at the cost of those critical nuts and bolts conversations where those working directly with the students and their families can inform the conversation. Perhaps it's time to talk about things like discipline policies, rules, consequences, and how to best enforce these policies as a staff. Or vertical academic articulation between grades and school sites. How do we build on our students' prior knowledge and better prepare them for the expectations they're going to encounter later in the educational system? How about conversations about grading policies or issues related to student dress code, cell phone policies, substance abuse, or student workload and homework? Wouldn't discussions on these topics better inform district employees who are committed to working with the entire child while remaining focused on the academic objectives that are supposed to be in the wheelhouse of the services we provide every day?
Okay, and next, public comment on items not on this agenda. First, we have Nukimbwala.
Yes, correct. Nukimbwala.
Yeah.
Okay, we can start with someone else while he comes back.
Next, we have Crystal Hotchner.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Crystal Hotchner, and I am a math teacher at Carpinteria Middle School, and I've been working there for over 20 years. Historically, CUSD has struggled with retaining and attracting highly qualified teachers, particularly secondary math teachers. Although COVID has certainly exacerbated the situation, the school district was suffering from these conditions well before COVID impacted the school district. My former widely respected colleague, Nathan Casas, and I wrote a letter to the editor in 2016 addressing this issue. That's the handout that I have for you all. Nathan has since moved on, joining the ranks of award-winning teachers that CUSD has lost due to lack of financially advantageous compensation and professional respect. Teachers, support staff, and union leadership have been encouraging the district to embrace a more effective posture regarding staffing, substitute coverage, and compensation for years. Unfortunately, the district has and continues to ignore this encouragement. This brings us to the 22-23 school year that began with the district trying desperately to recruit teachers with a $2,000 signing bonus. A mere Band-Aid for a much larger problem that could have been addressed years ago. I'm now asking again for district leadership to find a long-term solution to the issue of attracting and retaining highly qualified teachers, support staff, and substitute teachers. Why not tap into our unnecessarily high reserves to compensate employees with not only a fair, but an attractive compensation package? Showing fiscal and professional respect for district employees might prove to be a step in the direction of a long-term solution to the employment conditions that continue to exist in the CUSD, Carpinteria Unified School District. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other?
Jay Hotchner, Union President.
Thank you. I'm here to speak about issues of bargaining. There's been a lot of hoo-ha from the district all summer long, a lot of misinformation from the district all summer long about what the bargaining process should look like. So I'd like to remind the community and the school board and even Ms. Rigby of some of the details that seem to have been lost in that hoo-ha. Typically, a bargaining cycle is at least a year-long process, and it's often longer in our district. In the 2021 collective bargaining cycle, it was ended abruptly so as to respond to the COVID pandemic. It was a fully open contract, and the variety of interests and contract improvements that we were sitting on at that time, we set them aside for the well-being of the community and for the CUSD. We didn't know if COVID was going to be a bubonic plague or a cold or a flu at that time, so we were very cautious. In the 21-22 bargaining cycle, once again, because COVID was still, the pandemic and the mitigation efforts were still the priority across the district, we once again set all of those interests aside for another year. Now we are here in the 22-23 collective bargaining cycle, and we're carrying 3 years worth of unaddressed issues that Ms. Rigby wouldn't speak to us about for that entire 3-year period, not informally or formally. So we shouldn't be surprised that bargaining is going to take a little time this year. We meaning all of you, as well as the community who may not have known better. On top of that, the district's desire to maintain 22.78% reserves 3 years out effectively takes 25% of the district budget, sticks it in a dark, cold drawer somewhere, and does absolutely nothing for students, the teaching and learning environment, and district programs. Now, it does wonderful things for our bond rating, which I'm sure the heads of commerce in our community and real estate and contractors like yourself, Mr. Schaefer, I am sure that you all benefit and really appreciate that high bond rating. But a high bond rating does not deliver an education. And this community deserves to have their kids educated with the very money that they've been giving the school district. Unfortunately, to be squandered on legal action by your superintendent or to be kept in reserves and untouchable. Please give that some thought. Thank you.
Any further public comment?
It was just Mr. Kumbola, but I don't know where he is.
He left. Okay. I'd like to say I agree myself, and this may be a little out of turn. I'm not sure, but I am frustrated. We do want to be able to provide raises to our teachers and our staff, and I know that that has been put out there during negotiations. I believe that the last meeting was August 31st, correct? And that was offered 5% plus a 2% bonus. And we want that. We want that, and we want to be able to do that, do more as the years go on. So I guess for me, and I know that I have gone back and forth with teachers and leadership, union leadership representatives, and trying to understand, because for me, if it was my staff that I represented, I've traveled to the ends of the earth to try and help and secure their jobs and make sure that things are good for them. And I'm not saying that that's not happening, but I am confused as to why that wouldn't be taken and like locked in, and maybe I'm missing part of that process. But I think it's important that it's very clear that we are offering 5% step plus 2% bonus, one-time bonus, right now, and we do value you. I value you. I'm looking at 3 people in this room right now who have worked with my kids directly, and I appreciate each of you tremendously. And so I hope that we can move this forward. And I understand that there's a lot on the table built up. I get that. I just want you to know, and everybody, all the staff and the families in our district to know that our intention is this, and this is what we have offered. So it's not a lack of offer, and it's not a lack of wanting to do that. It's apparently there is a process in which it takes, and it takes time. I wish we could just like sign that and have that part be done. But that's not the way it works. I understand that. I'm not, that's, my point is, okay, well, okay. Moving on, board policies. Administrative regulation and new exhibit 2, 1312.4, Williams Uniform Complaint Procedures, second reading. The board is asked to approve the second reading and adopt the update on AR and new E2 1312.4, Williams Uniform Complaint Procedures. Regulation updated to reflect new state regulations. Register 2020 number 21, which amends the definition of beginning of the year or semester, and new law, AB 367-2021, which requires any school serving any grades 6 to 12 to, at all times, stock and make available and accessible, free of cost, an adequate supply of menstrual products in specified restrooms, beginning with the 22-23 school year. May I please get a motion?
I'll make a move to approve.
Second the motion?
And we have public comment on this item, correct?
Union President Jay Hochner.
Thank you.
Well, as I said, part of our role is sometimes to throw that wet blanket over what you all are talking about. It's fascinating to witness the school board spend valuable time updating and improving complaint policies that Human Resources rarely takes seriously and often retaliates against those who try to access these complaints, as is endorsed by Ms. Rigby, as she has actually had to take liability for that behavior already with the state. Imagine the irony and frustration of district employees and parents who have diligently attempted to communicate their concerns and/or a variety of unprofessional experiences and administrative behaviors, only to learn that the District Human Resource Department, with, again, the clear blessing of the superintendent and even some of our board members, uses these very policies to delay, to undermine, to obstruct, and/or to dismiss these employees' efforts to deal with the concerns in-house and confidentially. Several examples of this have been shared with the community already, since the desperately required complaints were filed with the superintendent in the spring of 2022, when her hand-appointed principal, the Aliso principal, needed to be removed from the district. A lot of good work was done there by union and parents working together, and now Aliso fortunately has a fabulous principal in place. But boy, it wasn't that way last spring, was it? Like other similar events, much of that danger and pain and damage could have been prevented if these complaint processes functioned as they should, versus as they do under the current Human Resource Director, Ms. Zapata, who's joining us here silently, of course. The union requests that the district disclose the volume of these complaints that are filed at each board meeting, not just those associated with the Williams Uniform Complaint Procedure, but those associated with all matters of district operations. We can just put a number out there to give the community an idea of how many formal problems there have been registered in the district without breaking anybody's confidentiality. We believe the community will recognize the smoke that clarifies the volume of fires burning across the CUSD. It is time to use our complaint processes both legally and effectively. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's see here. What are we? E2, Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 3523, Electronic Signatures, new, second reading. The board is asked to approve and adopt the second reading of new BP and AR 3523, Electronic Signatures. New policy reflects the authorization for districts to use electronic signatures in their communications and operations, including the benefit of electronic records and signatures. New AR 3523, Electronic Signatures, establishes procedures for district use of electronic signatures, including that in any business transaction, electronic signatures may be used only when each party has agreed to conduct the transaction. May I get a motion?
A move to approve?
I'll second.
And we have public comment, New Kimbwala, but has anybody, nope, okay.
I have not seen him, but we do have Union President Jay Hochner.
Okay.
I'd like to confirm again the agenda item we're on, just to make sure I'm speaking to the right time.
E2. Electronic signatures.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, we have nothing to state on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. E3, Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 6158, Independent Study, first reading. The board is,
We vote on that?
sorry, jumped the gun. We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor of E2?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving on. Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 6158, Independent Study, first reading. The board is asked to approve the first reading of the update on BP and AR 6158 independent study. CUSD last update was on August 2021. Policy and regulation updated to reflect new law AB 181 as of 2022. May I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second. And public comment.
Union President Jay Hochner.
We have nothing to state on that topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. F1 warrants. The board is asked to approve the warrants for period of 9/9/22 through 9/22/22 in the amount of $521,951.40. Warrants are issued once a week on Thursdays. The report format shows the check number, check date, payee, brief account description, payment comment, and check amount. May I get a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second. Public comment.
Union President Jay Hochner.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. F2 gifts, grants, donations. A donation from Carpinteria Beautiful to Carpinteria Middle School. The board is asked to accept the donation from Carpinteria Beautiful of $500 to fund a Carpinteria Beautiful club at CMS. May I get a motion?
I move to approve this motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. F2, public comment, apologies.
Union President Jay Hochner.
Thank you. So although applauding the generosity of our community partners, neighbors, and stakeholders is not the primary role of the function of union leadership, you can be certain that we genuinely appreciate the efforts of all those who give of themselves to the CUSD, be it in the form of money, material, gifts, time, and/or energy. It isn't that we don't believe that cheers are due and cheerleading is appropriate at times, just not at the cost of the other matters that have the potential to transform the district's efficacy. Thank you to Carpinteria Beautiful, thank you to the Walking Classroom, and thank you to the CHS Athletic Boosters Club. Your consistent support is both appreciated and valued in the lives of our students and families. Thank you.
Thank you. 2B, donation from the Walking Classroom to CMS. The board is asked to accept the donation of 35 complete program walk kits valued at $4,300 from the Walking Classroom to CMS Expanded Learning Program. The program teaches children to establish and maintain healthy lifestyle habits while building their health, literacy, and core content knowledge. May I get a motion to approve?
I move to approve. Second.
And public comment.
Union President Jay Hochner.
And once again, please, item number or item letter, please.
F2B.
Thank you, but we have nothing to add.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. F2C, donation from CHS Athletics Booster Club to CHS Students Athletic Event Tickets. The board is asked to accept the donation of $5,000 from CHS Athletics Boosters Club to CHS Students Athletic Event Tickets.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
All in public comment.
Union President Jay Hochner.
No further comments until item H. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
F2D, donation from CHS Athletics Booster Club to CHS Fall Athletic Program. The board is asked to accept the donation of $5,000 from CHS Athletics Boosters Club to CHS Fall Athletic Program. May I get a motion?
I move to approve. With gratitude.
Can I get a second? Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. G, Measure U. G1, approval of landscape structures, proposal of 2 tender tough benches for Summerland Elementary. The board is asked to approve the proposal from Landscape Structures for 2 tender tough benches at Summerland Elementary. The cost of $3,398.38 will be paid with Measure U bond funds. May I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. G2, proposal from Blue Space Interiors for modernization furniture selection, Summerland. The board is asked to approve that the purchase of furniture for the Summerland Elementary School modernization be awarded to Blue Space Interiors under the terms and conditions of the cooperative purchasing agreement with Sourcewell. Contract number OT8147CZ2. The proposal cost is $155,489.43, which includes assembly, installation, and sales tax, and will be paid with Measure U funds. May I get a motion?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
And is there any discussion? No? Anybody? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. G3, approval of purchase of area rugs from School Specialty for School Modernization Summerland. The board is asked to approve the purchase from School Specialty for 3 carpets for each classroom and 1 carpet for the library multipurpose room at Summerland Elementary as part of the school's modernization project. The cost of $1,829.86 will be paid with Measure U funds. Motion?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. H, personnel. H1, personnel summary. The board is asked to approve the following recommended personnel items. Assignments of 3 personnel. Co-curricular assignment, elementary grade level chair stipend, 8 personnel. Middle school department chair stipend, 8 personnel. Special education chair stipend, 4 personnel. High school department chair stipend, 9 personnel. Co-curricular assignment, 7 personnel. Contract, 1 personnel. Resignations, 4 personnel. May I get a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
And public comment on H1.
Yes, we will begin with Union President Jay Hochner.
Thank you. During the consent agenda earlier in the meeting, union leadership spoke to the contracting out of jobs and labor services, which in turn prevent new employees from joining or accessing the contractual rights negotiated by the union and district leadership. And let's remember why this is happening. Because the CUSD has been unable to attract and hire and maintain anywhere near the required levels of high-quality talent under Superintendent Rigby's watch, under the school board's watch, and under the performance of our human resource director in her department. We asked and are asking again, do you think this is a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that these workers will neither gain access to the contractual protections provided in the district's collective bargaining agreements that the district so routinely dismisses, violates, and bucks? Is it a coincidence that they will not gain union membership either, have access to union membership or the employment rights and benefits union membership ensures? Or that they will not gain access to the district's health care package aimed at supporting individual and community health? As we continue to witness employees leaving the CUSD, this time mid-year, in the first 6 weeks, employees leaving in the first 6 weeks is demonstrated on the agenda for greener pastures or due to fiscal hardships that undermine their ability to be present to their families and loved ones. Union leadership continues to encourage district leadership to reflect on and consider what of the variety of suggestions provided by the union the district might pursue to improve, if not even transform, the current condition. Could any of these ideas that we've been giving you in 2017 when you arrived, and then 2018, and then 2019, and I'm sure you know I can count to 2023, right? Could any of these ideas have better supported employee retention? Incentivizing substitute compensation, perhaps even in providing some kind of access to district health care. Creating a standing subpool. How many teachers every day in the district, even before COVID, how many classrooms we knew every day there was at least 10 classrooms that needed subs. We could have hired those people, made them permanent employees. They could have shown up to the district each day, and they could have been directed to the different school sites as needed. They would have come to know the administrators better. They would have come to know our colleagues better. They would have come to understand the students, our safety protocols, our grading systems, all of that better. But that was summarily rejected. Each year we brought it forward, never even mentioned at a school board meeting by a single board member, the superintendent, the human resource director, yourself, Ms. Fitzgerald, the assistant superintendent. The idea of a hiring fair for $2,000 hiring bonuses at the last second this year, we had been encouraging consistent job fairs every year for Carpenter Unified School District, every year. Again, 16, 17, 18, 19 to the present.
Thank you,
There are
Mr.
more.
Ochsner.
We would love to sit down and talk with you about these.
And
Next we have CMS teacher Kelly Verheer.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Kelly Vergeer, science teacher at the middle school. Thank you for having me. Learned a lot more about AHA tonight, even though I've already experienced it. But I just want to come and speak for not only myself, but other colleagues that are somewhat intimidated to come and talk to the board. And I would also like to make sure that this is a safe space and that my administrator won't be contacted and there won't be any retaliation against me. Since the last meeting, Ms. Rigby, your personnel summary that you attach in your superintendent report no longer has wages attached to it or salaries. So it was a little bit interesting to me. Instead of making assumptions, I would like to seek and maybe encourage some transparency. And as I teach my students, we look for evidence before we make a claim. And so I would like to formally submit the following requests for public information for fiscal and/or academic years of 2017 to present. This has to do with labor-related costs, mainly raises, bonuses both on and off schedule associated with non-union district employees. Specifically, the superintendent, the executive assistant, the principals at Aliso, at Summerlin, Canalino, and Family School, the principal at Carpinteria Middle School, the principal at Carpinteria High School, the principal at Rincon Foothill High Schools, the pupil service administration, the director of speech education services, the gate coordinator, school psychologist, the speech and language pathologist, the nurse, the director of human resources, the director of payroll and health benefits, the technicians, technical supervisor, informational systems and assistant coordinator, the assistant superintendent business officer, the staff accountant, the accounting, the clerk, the children nutrition and wellness coordinator, the transportation and wellness warehouse supervisor, the reception district clerk, the director of facilities and operations, the maintenance and custodial supervisor, the grounds department, the supervisor, and the Measure U facilities project coordinator. Many people on this list have gotten bonuses on schedule and off schedule that I would like to compare to teacher compensation. So I'll submit this to Ms. Thomas, and I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. No more? Okay. All in favor, we had a motion and a second, correct? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Thank you. Let's see here. Aye. Board announcements. Mr. Schaefer, can you report out, please?
Yeah, we'd like to report out on the joint city CUSD meeting that we had last week that Jamie and I attended along with Mrs. Rigby. There were numerous items discussed. The pedestrian safety improvements, we got a handout here, basically a summary. So the report is the Carpenter Avenue, Palm Avenue intersection improvements right at the middle school, that corner that's very busy during school comings and goings. Basically the general scope of the work has been approved, and the design is complete. and the application for electric service is in. The city's going to bid on the 8th, or no, they went to bid on the 8th. They're scheduled to start the work on the 4th, and hopefully, no, I'm sorry, the bid is on the 4th, and the bid opening is tentatively scheduled for the 25th of October. So I'm guessing it'll be completed sometime around, before the end of the year. They didn't really tell us that, but I'm just assuming. And then the Carpenter High School crosswalk safety improvement project on Foothill is stuck in the melees of Caltrans, and really it's in their court now since that's a state highway. Canalino is still working on access off of El Caro, and the design is currently, I think, being contemplated by the city. Then there was Aaron Maker talked to us about a solar, basically a community microgrid project utilizing multiple public agencies within the Carpenter Valley, and asked if the district was interested in seeing proposals on how any projects could be implemented on district property. Jody Thomas gave us a very thorough update on the city library, which was very informative for me. Amber Workman gave us a pool update and the update on the junior lifeguard program and the success of that, and the Tritons and how they're doing so well. And the pool seems to be flowing pretty well now. It's very busy. I think the success of the Warriors has had a very positive impact on the youth programs at the pool. We didn't really dig into the joint use agreements with the district and the city very much. The new city assistant manager, Michael Ramirez, is still working on those and needs to get it back to us. And then we're going to meet again on, was it December? Sometime in early December. I think that was all I remember.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Any other?
Well, since I'm speaking, I'd like to thank all the community members who supported the FFA this weekend. The FFA served a total of 315 to 316 total 4 to 5 person meals, which basically Tom Main and I, who we helped with the barbecue, we figured that was close, over 1,200. It'd be like a catering company doing over 1,200 meals. So, and that was all done with parent volunteers and students. And we used the barbecues at the high school and the culinary arts kitchen. Made full use of that. It was busy as a beehive. So it was really good to see everybody working together, parents and the kids, and then the community coming in and supporting. And I think it was very well received. So hopefully we'll do more next time.
Great, thank you. Anybody else?
One of the girls that I work with said that you were going to do it in the spring again.
We're going to do it in the spring. Yeah.
She wasn't always happy about it. She said it was a really long day.
It's a long day, but I think the kids learned something, and they learn about preparing meals, and they learn about working together and communicating, and scheduling and timing. It was great.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, so my family really enjoyed our tri-tip dinner. Thank you so much. And we also, I was able to go to the Girls Inc. event, Evening in Bloom, which was a wonderful thing. I really appreciate that they are looking towards serving every young woman in our community. That's their goal, to be able to serve 100% of the young women in our community, girls. And so that's a large goal, but I know that the folks there at Girls Inc. are capable of that. And then there's also virtual enterprise interviews this week at the high school, and that's really exciting. I'm trying to free my schedule so I can help with that. And yeah, it was great to have Mort back after a few years with COVID, and there's a lot going on. So thank you. Okay.
Can I just say too, I'll push this again, the Carpentry Education Foundation, which has been in existence for about 25 years, donating all their income back to the schools, so the programs and equipment and a variety of things can be implemented at the high school, at all the schools. And on October 29th at the high school is our Carpa Kabuna. It's $100 a person, and hopefully we'll see a lot of people there. It's a great party at the high school.
How do we get tickets?
Go online to CEF.
Okay, and public comment.
Union President Jay Hochner.
Public comment on future agenda items?
No, board announcements.
Thank you.
Okay. Board calendar.
I just would like to remind the board that tomorrow is the fall board school tours, and it will start at 5 p.m. in the tennis courts at Summerland.
Okay. And public comment on this item.
Sorry, I have one more thing.
Oh, okay.
Also, you will have, that was from the modernization projects, and then you will have the actual school board tours. We're coming back to that. It was done way back before the COVID, and now you guys are doing it again to visit all the school sites. And that will be on October 21st, and it's going to start at 8:30 at Summerland at Main.
8:30 in the morning.
Yes. So this is the one where you go and visit all the schools.
What was the date again? I'm sorry, Monica.
No, it's okay. October 21st. 8:30, starting at Summerland, that is located at Main right now.
Okay. Thank you. And do we have public comment on the board calendar?
Public comment on board calendars?
Mr. Hochner? I had you signed up for
I have.
J.
Union has nothing to offer until item K.
Okay, thank you. Which is next, future agenda items. We have a Measure U update, superintendent's annual goals, and school single plans presentations. Public comment.
Union President Jay Hochner.
You again. So this evening we saw Ms. Bergier, thank you, Ms. Bergier, submit a relevant, highly relevant public information request based on the California Public Records Act. This is an opportunity any district employee, any board member, or community member may pursue. And they would submit that, they could do that in email, in writing, verbally, over the phone, as soon as you get that correspondence, the district is required to respond, and required to respond in 10 days. I genuinely appreciated Ms. Bergier's reference to pursuing data that supports one's perspectives and conclusions. The union would also like to remind the community, our board members, and most definitely district administration, that response, again, for such information is required to be produced. You are required to respond to that within a 10-day working period, and I believe that's 10 working days, so you do have weekends still. Given that the district should have analyzed that data before making any decision to provide all admin and non-unit members, that's not teachers and support staff, but senior management and junior management, a 5% raise with a 2% bonus in July, the union would suspect that this should not be a high hurdle for the Human Resource Department to provide that data not only before the next school board meeting on October 11th, but even before the bargaining partners meet again, the bargaining partners being the union and the district, meet again on October 5th. The union's team being composed of 4 to 5 teachers and a regional rep, and the district's team being composed of the human resource director, 1 lawyer, not Superintendent Rigby. Union leadership proposes that you not only provide the requested data as obligated, but that you even agendize the topic and share the data with the community at the next board meeting. We believe the community will be very interested and surprised to learn of the consistent increases our administrators have received, while faculty and support staff have not or have received much less as a percentage of their income. So we hope you'll put that on the agenda. Thank you.
Any other public comment? No? Okay. Do we have to, we don't have to vote on that, do we? No? Okay. All right, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
So my lover, when you want me, call me in the hush of the evening. When you call me in the hush of the evening, we'll rush to our first